Pregnancy is a hardcore sci-fi epic of war, peace,
pregnancy,
and compromise. Babies are basically very cute
This is gonna be
humans
graphic.
that grow a completely new
Oh
organ
no, so
inside a
cute.
different human. Their mum's body graciously allows this, while the new life saps her resources and challenges
Is this
her
gonna be
immune
a
system to
propaganda for
its
pregnancy?
limits for months.
Ew.
Biology is brutal and beautiful and metal.
Metal.
Let's zoom in and
Yo, what is this?
observe this brutal struggle for
We're inside
survival
the hall.
that in the best case ends in one of the most magical things, a new life.
I don't know.
Our story begins with an army of tens of millions of
Oh,
sperm
shit.
cells that immediately
Oh, that's
face
me.
death.
That's me.
They're on a tight timer before they run out of energy.
Hey, no.
But this is the
That's
least
not
of
me, yo.
our
I got
problems
no
right now.
affiliation with that
Like
guy.
all bodily openings, the female reproductive tract is a
R.I.P.,
fortress
man. Rest in
defending
paradise.
against invaders. The future mum's body has set up deadly barriers and puts the sperm through a brutal process that
Is this a geometry dash?
kills almost all of them and ideally selects the strongest and fittest one.
Hey, that's good.
The first deadly
Battle
obstacle
Royale.
is a highly acidic environment guarded by hundreds of thousands of guard cells. The acidity kills millions, especially of the weaker sperm within the first half hour, although they have a
it's
bit of
eating.
protection. Seminal fluid is alkaline, so it makes this first obstacle a little less deadly. The survivors reach the next obstacle, a treacherous maze full of protein nets where millions more find the brutal
Neutrophil.
end getting stuck and lost. Now, if a woman is in the part of her menstrual cycle where she's ovulating, her body helps the sperm out a bit by releasing chemicals that guide the way and by being a bit less
Oh
hostile.
shit, let's go. We're
Luckily
inside,
for our
boys.
brave
We're
sperm,
inside.
This is the case today. Only a couple of
Okay.
hundred, less than
A whole gang.
0.0001% of the original sperm pass through into the uterine cavity where two tunnels branch out. Here,
Let's
mucus
see, left
helps
or right,
transport
huh?
the stronger sperm to move on while
I'll take the right.
weeding out the weaker ones. The mum's immune cells pick off and devour every cell that trails behind or takes the wrong turn. And then, finally, maybe just a few dozen sperm reach their goal, the mighty giant egg. 10,000 times bigger than them, it's an industrial-scale monster loaded with nutrients and nearly 100,000 mitochondria, the
Wow.
powerhouse of the cell, 50 times more than an average cell. But the egg is not easily conquered. The survivors get closer and try to get in until the egg decides to accept a single one of them. The genes of two individuals merge. The egg stops being part of its mother. It's something else now. A new being with its own agenda. Not a human yet, but the potential to become one, like a thought that's not yet a word. But its mum's body hasn't decided yet if she wants to say it out loud. It will have to fight for that. For a few days, it rapidly divides
Unless she's gonna have abortion.
and grows to a couple of hundred cells while traveling down to the uterus, the part of the female reproductive system where it will try to make its new home. Here, it begins to divide into two specialized teams of cells. One will eventually become the baby. The other cells are trophoblasts, and their job is to turn into a temporary organ inside the mother, the placenta, that will make pregnancy possible and eventually die.
Oh.
This means that when you were an embryo,
So that's the thing they cut.
there was this whole other part of you, not like a twin, even closer, maybe like a guardian angel clone. These cells never had the chance to become a human. Their only purpose in life was to make you exist. In any case, the following days are the most dangerous for the potential new life. Like a tennis ball rolling through syrup, the young embryo moves along the uterus and tries to take a hold. An intense chemical dialogue between two living things begins. The embryo releases dozens of chemicals that announce its presence and asks the guard cells of the uterine wall to allow it to please attach itself so it can survive. The uterus responds with dozens of hormones and immune
Oh my god, this is so weird,
itself.
yeah.
If it's satisfied with the quality of the chemical conversation, its
That's
cells allow it.
nasty, man.
If it doesn't, the embryo will be lost and die.
Oh no.
This is
oh,
where we
no.
begin to see the interests of both living beings no longer completely align anymore.
The hell?
Pregnancy is a huge energy
That's
investment,
some alien
so the
shit.
mother's body will eject the embryo if it doesn't see it as viable. The embryo, on the other hand, faces a life and death situation and tries to stay alive at any price. So it's not asking politely, but deploying thousands of infiltration units, bubbles filled with genetic material, kind of like a human virus. They sort of invade the uterine cells and try to brainwash them, so they help it attach itself rather than rejecting it. During this time, one of the weirdest features of pregnancy occurs. The uterus provides uterine milk, not real milk, but a clear fluid filled with nutrients and hormones that the young embryo sucks up hungrily to gain additional energy until it gets inside. If the embryo
Man, this shit is so complicated. Holy moly, who made this thing?
is allowed in,
Like the human.
the implantation was successful, the first critical hurdle.
Somebody
The
would
next
say,
step is to reach the blood vessels of its mother, the only way to survive if it doesn't want to starve. The trophoblasts begin to clone themselves on a massive scale and turn into different specialists. One of them turns into a violent invader that starts drilling into the uterine tissue like a tiny parasitic octopus with many arms, spreading and growing. This is a brutal process, ordering loads of its mum's uterus cells to destroy themselves, killing others directly, or even devouring some cells whole. While this sounds brutal, and it is, this process is highly regulated and doesn't hurt the mum. It's another test. The mum's body monitors carefully how
I mean,
the
does she even know?
embryo is doing.
Like there's should be some signs, right?
Is it growing quickly, or is it more chill? If an embryo has genetic damage or chromosomal abnormalities, it will spend way more energy on repairing itself and maybe grow more erratically. This makes it metabolically noisy, releasing loads of chemicals the mum's immune cells pick up, which provokes them and makes it more likely that they'll destroy it. On the other hand, if the embryo is weak, it's metabolically too quiet and the mum will stop talking to it, which also ends the pregnancy.
Oh no.
This embryo is just right, so the mum's cells release a flood of different chemicals to help it out, support it growing, and most importantly, activate her immune system. Usually this would be very bad. The immune system kills everything that's not part of the mum's body, and this embryo is clearly not part of her. But the immune cells of the uterus surround the embryo and start helping it, guiding the trophoblast to grow further. They create
Wow, it's like a
physical
layer
and
of defense. It's like a layer of defense.
chemical safe zone that tells dangerous immune cells like T cells to stay away. The embryo has its own motives and doesn't want to rely on its mother's goodwill alone.
Hey, no friendly fire. No friendly fire.
So defensive trophoblasts send out signals that kill her immune cells if they get too close and could start attacking it. Hundreds of cells go even further and leave the embryo behind.
There's a
They spread
complete
all
war
across the
out
mum's
there.
body, entering organs, even the brain. We don't know what all of these cells are doing, but we think that they're probably telling her immune system that the embryo is not to be attacked, that it should be left alone or even protected. These cells may stay inside the mother for years or even decades. It's likely that parts of you are still in your mother. Around 8 weeks after the egg was fertilized, the transition from the embryo to fetus begins. The size of an olive, its organs begin to form, and it turns from a blob into something vaguely human-like. Is there a clear point where a clump of cells becomes a human? Not really. It's a fluid transition, and every society and person, be it morally or legally, marks this moment differently.
No,
Meanwhile,
here we go. We're back to politics.
Trophoblasts are busy building a spongy finger-like structure that expands further into the uterus, a completely new organ. The placenta, an organ that you once grew inside your mother, that was ejected after your birth and died a silent death while everybody was busy welcoming you into the world.
Looks like a
In our
cancer or
story,
some
the
shit.
placenta is now
Tumor.
the new home of the
Jeez.
fetus, an enormous fortress protecting it from microbes that could infect and kill it in its still
Yo, it
fragile
looks like
state.
the egg. It looks like the egg.
It even has its own mini immune system, placental immune cells that gobble up anything that poses a threat. Other placental cells creep
Yo,
along
maybe we're related to
the
chickens.
side of the mum's blood vessels, stretching
That'd be
them
fun.
and connecting the fetus through the umbilical cord on the other side. With the blood flow secured, it's time to load it with as much food as possible. The placenta releases hormones that funnel glucose directly to the fetus, stealing energy from its mum. If the fetus goes too far and asks too much, this can sometimes lead to gestational diabetes for the mum during the pregnancy, starving her body of energy. The mother's body is trying to support the new life, but not at the cost of her own survival. In a sense, the mother's genes inside the fetus still have a stronger allegiance to her than to the new being, but its father's genes don't. They want the fetus to survive at all costs. So while there's a sort of fragile peace between both parties,
Yo, take
it
the
is
water.
just that. Their interests are not perfectly aligned, and both sides have to deal with that. In the next few months, the fetus will increase its weight over 1 billion times, which demands a staggering amount of energy and cooperation. They still need to work together to get out of this alive. But if the fetus gets to this point in the pregnancy, chances are pretty high that it will become a baby like you once were. A proper human, like you are today. A being with immense potential. If you're alive today, then you went through an amazingly brutal selection process. From a little pack of genes traveling through an incredibly deadly obstacle course, fighting for your survival, with desperate words spoken through chemicals, and sneaky actions trying to outsmart the system, fighting to be alive in this world. But this is only one side of the story. You were also chosen by hormones that led you to the right place, by the egg allowing you to merge into one, by your mum's body that liked how you spoke to her, by her cells that protected and cared for you, nourished by an incredible amount of energy that your mother gifted you. Our biology is a brutal, unforgiving, but necessary part of the greatest wonder there is, the creation of new life, of you, of all of us.
Wow.
Kids fill us with a sense of wonder. It's our job to foster this sense of wonder in them as well.
Oh, it's hashtag ad, yeah.
Great start. Panda part of the
it's this whole thing. Yeah, so it was fun. I liked it. Pregnancy is insane. The name of the video. I just like it. I liked it.